Hey friends, TUXX here. I wanted to do a little follow-up here on the ACDelco touch-up paints. These are a lifesaver if you have a car, and if you drive the car aggressively like I do, you know, eventually you're going to have some little rock nicks or whatever, you know, and this is a really great way to actually, you know, cover up some of those paint chips or whatever without actually having a kind of major, you know, auto repair bill paint job charge, you know, and they're really not that hard to use. I have a video on this red one, which I still have this red touch-up paint, which matched my torch red and my Corvette perfectly, okay? And if you go back in my queue, you'll see that video. I'll have the link in the description down below. And then my current one is metallic gray, and they make the touch-up paint for that too. And what's really important about this is the fact that this is the exact paint of your car. It's not like some kind of color of red. That's the exact red, okay? And that really does make a huge difference. So if you're in the market to try and cover up a little scratch or paint chip or anything, this is a great way to go. Let me just show you the kit here. This box has gotten a little bit beaten up, and that's only because I've had it for a little while. I didn't make a video on it. When I bought this car, one of the first things I did is I went out and found this exact paint, not knowing that, you know, I wasn't sure when I was going to need it, but I just knew that the metallic is really kind of hard to find, and so I wanted to make sure I had one of these on standby so it wouldn't be a hard time finding it later if I wanted to, okay? Now this is what it comes like. It comes with this little kit, okay? This is kind of like an extra little piece. This is kind of a hard, almost like ceramic rub. If you're trying to get like dirt and stuff out of a scratch, you can use this to kind of clean up a scratch area before you actually start to paint it, you know? And then inside of here it has two different parts. One is the actual paint. In fact, let me remove the little prong stand here. This just comes off like that, okay? We'll put that down here. And then if inside here, you'll see that there is a brush. Okay, it's kind of like nail polish for guys, is one way I've heard it described. And you can see there's the brush, and this brush is a little bit dinged up actually, so I might make it a little harder to work with, but very strong smelling. In fact, I might shut this right now, but you get the idea. And then the downside here, this one here is a little container for the clear coat, okay? Okay, this isn't really a how-to video, but I'm just going to show a little bit just to give you an idea. So I do have a scratch here on this car, on my Corvette, right down here. I rubbed a curb just a little bit. You know, it's the type of thing where you always feel bad, but you know, I'm not going to baby my Corvettes because I know I'll just buy another one after if I want, you know. So, and I have bought several of them. We've had 3 total now. So it's the type of thing that I don't mind actually, you know, enjoying the car, you know, and sometimes there's a little scrape or scratch or bump or paint chip or whatever that happens, and it's nothing to get too bent out of shape over, because you can always take it to a shop and they can paint the whole thing professionally. But for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and use a paint kit. First thing I do is always kind of clean the area a little bit. Then actually I like to use a little alcohol rub. It's one of these sterile alcohol prep pads. I'll have a link for this down below. It's available on Amazon. Not expensive at all, you know. And we'll go ahead and just rip this open here and give the air a little rub just to make sure it's as clean as possible. So we'll give this just a little rub right down here. Try and make sure it's nice and clean. There we go. Okay, got it. And you can see it was pretty clean, not a lot of dirt or anything on there, but it's still good to do. Now, we have our kit here, our little box. So we're gonna go ahead and take this out. There we go. And you know, I'm probably not even gonna do the clear coat right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you the paint part. If I wanted to now, again, you could use this part right here. This is that hard scratching part. If I wanted to rough up the area a little bit, I could, using this, okay, to get any kind of dust or dirt or debris out if there was like dust in a crack or something, or some kind of little scratch or whatever. But you don't really have to necessarily, okay? And then we'll go ahead and take the pen out, which actually, let me go ahead and get this just right. So we're carefully pulling this out. And you can see again, my brush is a little trashed out actually from, I don't know if it came like that or what, but it's like sticking out. So you want to be very careful not to paint, you know, get paint where you don't want the paint. Okay, so we're going to go down here now and just give this a little stroke. This is kind of a hard area to work with. In fact, I wish I had the car on a lift just to play it safe. Kind of wonder if I scraped this area a second time. I did scrape this originally. This stuff is really strong. You can smell it. Smells like nail polish remover, really. Now this does dry very, very quickly, so please keep that in mind while you're doing it. You can see I've applied the paint, the paint cover up very evenly right down here as best I could. Now the actual surface from kind of hitting the curb a little, it was a little rough. And of course this, really the best way of doing this would probably be take it to a body shop, have them do the whole area, you know. But for right now, I'm just gonna go this route temporarily, at least a little Band-Aid for now, you know. And I'm sure this car will get other paint chips and scratches, but beautiful car, love it. And then this is a great, inexpensive way of putting a little Band-Aid on it for the time being. But I think it looks pretty good, actually. Like, look at it. It's still drying a little bit, but just to give you an idea, I think it looks pretty darn good. And it will only look better, and that's close up, too. Let's take a look from a distance. Okay, from a distance, you can see this did a pretty good job for the money, you know. Definitely still, you could tell it could use a little professional TLC, if you will. But, you know, for the price, it did a pretty amazing job. And I think that definitely was a nice little Band-Aid for the time being. And it looks even better if you're actually a little further away. We're still quite close up. Okay, here's one more look from a little further away, and still it looks pretty darn good. The car is dirty. I didn't really wash the whole car before this process, just cleaned up the affected area, you know. I just had a car wash fairly recently, but in Florida, you know, when you drive it around, daily driver, man, you know, you're gonna get dirt, so it's constantly washing and cleaning, you know. But for right now, I think that looks pretty decent right down there. So if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, to recap, this is the ACDelco touch-up paint, okay? This comes in a variety of colors, in my case for my Corvettes, and it's a situation where this is the exact color match paint that you want, okay? And especially if you have a kind of hard-to-match color like metallic gray, you want to have the exact paint. You don't want some random version of torch red just being red, or metallic gray being some other kind of just gray or too metallic or whatever. You want the exact paint. It makes sense, guys. It really does. And these aren't that expensive, you know. And of course, disclaimer, the best answer always, take it to the shop, have a professional remove the whole fender or hood or whatever, and give it a good solid, real professional, you know, shop paint job. But sometimes just for a little rock nick or something, this is a good solution, actually. You know, I'd recommend this. And you can always repaint the thing later if you wanted to, you know. But not that expensive. You can get this on Amazon. I will have a link for these down below, so you can go ahead and click the link and get yours. And again, this will save you a lot of money, okay? So it's well worth doing. It's pretty easy to use, you know. It's not quite as perfect as a real professional automotive paint job, but you know, for the money, it's pretty darn good. You know, I'd recommend it. I've used it in the past, again, for this particular torch red Corvette. If you go back in my queue, you'll see the video. And pretty dramatic, you know, pretty dramatic. It's good. And then this is the gray one I have for my current Corvette, okay? All right, friends. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Click the link.